This is a typical flow that I might do after hiking or walking. Start in mountain pose, reach the arms overhead, and fold forward for an initial hamstring stretch, feeling into that. Then the fingers come to the shins, lift the chest for half forward fold, hands down, right foot steps back, and the right knee is under my right hip, so it's a 90-degree-ish angle with that back leg. Then I'm squeezing the back of the right hip, so my right glutes are active. I'm lifting up through the low belly to put the stretch more into the front of the right thigh. As I reach my right arm up and over, I'm also experiencing a stretch through the right side of the body that feels really good in my body. Then right hand down, I'm going to walk it forward or walk my right knee back a little bit. And I reach back with my left hand, see if I can reach my foot. Now I'm going to walk my hand around to the outer edge of the foot so that I can open up a little bit more into the chest. You'll see that in a moment. I have to walk my right hand forward to make this work for my body. And then as I'm pulling the foot forward, I'm still squeezing through the back of the right hip, trying not to just lean on the right arm, but to push a little bit into the floor so I'm staying really active there. Few breaths here. Then I release the foot, left hand comes back down to the mat. Pause to bow into a hamstring stretch briefly, and left foot steps back to the right. And my down dog, I'm going to play a little bit with some calf stretches, bending into one knee, dropping the other heel toward the floor, and then bending into the other knee alternately. Pedaling out a few times feels pretty good for me here. And I lift my right leg up into a three-legged dog. I'm engaging the abdominal muscles, again, trying to get the stretch into the front of the thigh before I step the right foot forward, lower, and drop into a hamstring stretch. Now here, rather than just sort of collapsing forward, I've got a little bend in the right knee, and I'm trying to tilt the pelvis forward as though I had a string attached to the back of my hips, and I'm pulling it backward so that I'm putting the stretch into the belly of the hamstring muscle between the back of the knee and the back of the hip. The leg doesn't need to be straight for me to experience a big stretch here. Well, again, staying with it for a few breaths, making sure it doesn't move into pain. And then when I'm ready, fingertips down, left foot steps forward, and folding briefly. Pressing into the floor, standing back up, arms can reach overhead, hands come back through the heart. Coming to the second side, arms will reach overhead. Oh, first I'm going to do a little neck stretch, looks like. Then the arms come up, and I bow forward. And I'm noticing the whole time, how does this feel different? Just checking in. Does one leg feel different? Looking forward again, and then left foot steps back, lowering the left knee to the floor. I'll need to shorten my stride a little bit here. Good, and then squeezing through the back of the left hip, setting myself up, making sure that my hip points are squaring off. Now on this side of my body, I want a little additional tricep stretch. So instead of just reaching the arm up overhead, I'm actually taking my hand to the back of the head, which puts it a little more into my tricep, even as I'm continuing to squeeze the back hip forward and lift up through the low belly. So the stretch is in the front of my left hip and thigh. When I've had enough time here, lowering the hand down, start to move into that twist. Need to walk the back leg back and then reach back for the foot. Now, if I couldn't reach my foot today, I would grab a strap. Sometimes it helps to move the right foot a little bit to the right to get into that twist. Looks like I didn't need that here. Again, rather than collapsing, I'm pushing down into the floor, lengthening forward through the chest. And apparently I'm looking down. I'm not sure what that's all about. Sometimes looking up feels a little strenuous on the neck. Good. Release the hand. Lower your right hand down to the floor, stepping back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs again. Always feels good to me to stretch my calves in this position. So the left leg comes up again. I'm squeezing the back of the left hip. Glutes are active. Abdominal muscles are engaged, so I'm not just dropping into my lower back. And then I step my left foot actively forward. Right knee comes down, and we're looking for that hamstring stretch again. I have to walk my heel forward a little bend in the knee, and then I'm isometrically dragging the left heel back a little bit to activate here, to get into it, tilting the pelvis back, like imagining that I'm a dog and my tail is lifting up and back behind me. That anterior forward tilt helps me to get more stretch through the back of the hip where I want it, the back of the upper leg. Then fingertips come back down to the floor, mindfully stepping forward. Checking in again, how do the hamstrings feel? How do the hips feel? And all the way back up to stand. Hands come back through the heart. The flow completes itself.